Yes.
But that's a discussion for
Yes. Okay, so we're deferring item 11 with the comments.
We haven't voted on that.
I'm just about to.
Sorry, Martin. I thought it was sorry.
I'm just summarising. So I'm going to. So Sarah, you started the initial proposal, and then we've added some comments to that. So proposer Sarah, can I get a seconder for that proposal to defer? Lynn, seconding, and votes in favour, then, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so item 12. To note the current Ackworth Parish Council's financial regulations to remain as standing due to an ongoing review of the newly released National Association of Local Councils 2024 financial regulations. This item will be available to Council for review in line with the next scheduled meeting on Monday the 8th of July 2024. So this is changes that are coming in, and it's from the National Association of Local Councils. So it makes sense to not vote on our current regulations we have in place, because there might be changes we need to put in place as part of that review. But following the internal audit we've got, there's some improvements, but everything's sound, essentially. Can I get a first and second there? Oh, it's just a note. We can note, so we can note that. Nice and easy. Okay, so item 14 then. So receive communication regarding a consultation on draft recommendations for ward and
13.
Sorry, 13. Let's skip. Sorry about that. To receive a response from Wakefield District Council regarding the requested upgrade of the current crossing facility on Wakefield Road and decide the course of action. So we've got the email that Gemma submitted through to Wakefield Council. So I open the floor to comments from Parish Councillors.
I've been working with Gemma to put together the submission for this request. I think it's really disappointing, the response from Wakefield, trying to suggest that they put in 3 substandard crossings on one road in South Emsall that are actually puffin crossings right beside fairly busy junctions, and that's not acceptable, and that is their excuse for not giving us a puffin crossing against the very minor junctions coming out. Because literally I've got photos I took there, three junctions on the same, it's not called Main Street, I can't remember what it is in Southampton, but the main line through Southampton. There are literally 3 crossings that are much closer to the junctions than the one at what is now the Zappa crossing in the village. One of them is actually literally in between two junctions, one on one side of the road, one on the other. And they've got puffin crossings for it. And it kind of makes me think, well, what they're saying is either they think Ackworth drivers are much worse than those in South Emsall, or South Emsall pedestrians are much more important than Ackworth pedestrians. That's my reading of that. I'm not sure which one they're really trying to say, maybe both. But I think we've been fobbed off.
Can I just ask, is that a relatively new crossing that you're talking about in Southampton?
I don't know that they are. I'm not sure.
Is that the argument that when we had a site meeting, it was to do with the regulation, the most recent regulations that they were complying with?
If anything, having gone through all the regulations to put this together, if anything, the regulations used to be harder to do that than they are now.
Oh, that's not what the head of highways said.
I didn't bring them all with me, but I've spent hours reading all the regulations before spending a couple of hours putting this together and on the top of it.
Thank you for that, Steve.
If I remember rightly, at that meeting, he did contradict himself in saying that the council didn't hold a discussion with anyone regarding that, any objection. And he also said that the council didn't need to ask that. A second thing is a customer of mine had two gateways to his property. One was a very old one, that's been there at least a couple of hundred years. And one day the council came along and started to take up the drop curbs outside that gate, and as he was passing by he noticed what they were doing. And they said it was too near a road junction, so he couldn't have it. So he asked the advice of a specialist who said, or made a report and said it was all right for him to have it there. That went to Wakefield Council and they had to put the drop curbs back in. So probably we should maybe take the advice of a company that might look into that for us.
Yeah, on the reply we've had, it just said we can take it to stage 2 as the put that into the Sarah, were you going to comment?
No, it doesn't matter.
No? Are there any other comments on the reply we've had?
I'd like to propose we take it to stage 2.
Yeah, I'll take that as a proposal from Susan.
I would agree with that. There's some complaints that get better dealt with the higher you go up. Because the first person you dealt with was just to say, look, it was
Trying to justify his
you've got to
previous
go
decision.
far enough up to get to that
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take Susan Lynn as proposal and seconder. Sarah?
Just sorry, before we go to vote, so if we've got this justification here for saying that complaints not upheld, if we're going to go to stage 2, presumably, as Steve was saying, we'll have to provide more detail, more technical information, I would say. So I'm assuming that if I vote that we do take it to stage 2, that will be part of what we'll have to do, and that may obviously incur a cost. If we have to engage some kind of expert, planning expert, independent planning expert, or technical expert to back that up.
I would say, because we...
Because if we just say, no, we don't like your decision, we want to refer it up to stage 2 and then just put the same argument in, it's nothing new, is it?
It'll get knocked back to stage 2.
If I could just add to that, I did reference Traffic Signs Regulation and General Directions 2016, Traffic Signs Manual Chapter 6, Traffic Signs Regulations and General Directions 2016, again, Department for Transport Advisory Leaflet 102, Department for Transport Design of Pedestrian Crossings, Local Transport Note 295, and gave examples from outside of Wakefield that were just quick ones I found, and I'm sure there's a lot more as well. So the law is on our side.
As part of the proposal, then I was going to ask if that could be quite specific in the terms of it's delegated to Gemma to liaise with the council and with councillors in order to take it forward to stage 2, just so we can make sure that we're kind of being flexible in terms of the adaptability we might need in terms of putting forward any fresh arguments that we might have in terms of reinforcing the points that we've already made as part of the council so far. And again, thank you, Andy, for your contributions and anyone else that's contributed to that.
Also, can I suggest that we have a meeting, I don't know when we've got one due, of the road safety and planning, because I think this ties up with the whole of that road, and further on we definitely could do with a full puffing crossing.
Absolutely.
So whether we fail on this and we get a puffing crossing further up, at least that will be a win for that road, because it's really hard, and we've got sheltered housing at that top end, and people trying to get across the coast, it's really hard. So if we have to do some kind of pressure to get that, and we don't get this one, at least we'll have a safe crossing on Wakefield Road then. So could we possibly pass that to have a meeting of the road safety?
About additional crossings.
Yeah, but I think it's quite urgent, that one, because I've seen people really struggling. It was when we were at the Lane of Reef.
Yeah.
People they were quite elderly and had to scurry across with their banners and stuff, and I thought it would be really useful down there, because there's quite a bit of housing, there's sheltered housing, and the shops are there. So, and there's really no reason why you couldn't have them, because you've got barely any interference with sight lines. It's not on a bad bend. we're not near businesses, we're not directly in front of somebody's house, so it would be perfect.
Could we have that noted to pop onto the planning
Is that a
referral?
separate issue?
It is a separate issue. So yeah, just coming back to the proposal then, in terms of what I suggested, would that be acceptable to you, Susie, in terms of what I said in terms of delegating some responsibility to Gemma to work with councillors as...
Well, if it's possible to take advice on what might be best for stage 2, at least,
From who?
from the council.
Yeah. So if we delegate... Yeah.
Presumably somebody in Wakefield Council would at least tell them what they have to do for stage 2.
Actually, you write a letter saying yes, you do wish, and then they'll tell you.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Whatever.
They said, well, this is what you need to do, and then we can see what we do.
Okay, so we're delegating responsibility to Gemma to find out what's needed for stage 2, and then to sort of like move it forward in terms of the best way forward. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the proposal.
Yeah.
Are there any more comments before I move on to those and so on?
I did have a positive comment from
Okay.
residents nearby that they see people on that crossing all the time and it's working really well, and they're very happy with it.
Yeah.
They're probably quite happy not to have the beeps outside their house.
Obviously, I know not everyone will be happy.
Yeah.
I know not everyone's
One
happy.
complaint we got from the public, well, at least one, but I've heard a couple of ladies on the road crossing over it saying, I don't think this is very good. That was a few weeks ago. I don't like this.
I know when it was fair, I think people are getting used to it being there, so I think maybe it's getting better in terms of...
But still you see vehicles parking at the side of the road, right against it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. I'm going to move forward with the proposal that's on the table then. So we've got proposal and seconder, and it's basically stage to stage 2, find out what stage 2 would involve, and to delegate that responsibility and liaise with us via Gemma essentially. Can I get votes in favour of that then, please? Thank you very much, full house. Thank you very much. Okay, right. I think that's 14 now, can't I? It's just apologies. So item 14, to receive communication regarding a consultation on draft recommendations for ward boundaries in Wakefield, and to consider any comments that may be required by the Parish Council. I don't know how many people have seen the drafted proposal for the new ward boundaries this is for the district wards, and essentially it kind of, for us, I'm not sure about other wards, but for us in Ackworth, it kind of makes all the parish councils, they are the boundaries, such more or less, so the new boundaries of Ackworth Parish Council will still be within, and it will include West Winds as part of Ward 1, and the areas that have moved out back with Parish Council as part of that review that was done last year, I believe it was. They'll be going to Pontefract South, so that's...
The Hunt Hill bit.
yes, the Hunt Hill, that's... I was going to call that Hesper, I know it's not in my... It's in the 80s.
Yeah.
You
It
probably
just
see
seems to have added South Ensel and South Kirby to our area.
Well, not the parish, but the ward. But yes, there's a bit of we already had a part of Minster in, and it has extended that area of Minster. So there's a larger proportion of Minster in Ward 1 now. Yes, that's right. It's to do with populations as to why they do it, because they try and balance out the populations of each ward. Because some were down at 11,000, and Ward 1 was more at the top end of 13,000. So they tried to level them out. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, again, I'm apologising for having come late to read the papers. I've read both of them, but Gemma's notes said agenda item 14 and 15 included an email sent on Wednesday 5th of June, and it might just be like links, but I didn't get it on the 5th of June.
It was the email with all of the pack.
didn't get that. He must have got lost somewhere. Perhaps it's in my. Okay, all right, not to worry.
I mean, this is something I have looked into, and I've seen what they propose. I think it's sensible for our ward, at least. It basically, it's because it covers the parish councils of the boundaries that they have, rather than previously we had part of Featherstone Town Council. Because we've taken West Winds into the parish council, West Winds was in Featherstone ward. It's extended it to include that into our parish council, so it keeps the parish councils together as a cluster. So you've got the same district councillor representing the parish councils instead of having, say, 2 district councillors representing a part of the parish. So for me, it makes sense from that point of view, at least from an administration point of view. But that's just my view, of course.
I think, can you say, looking at it, half of West Winds are in Ward 1 and half of West Winds are in Featherstone. So I think it's a good example of how it's been tidied up.
Yeah.
And I know that in the Minsthorpe area, which Stephen, I think there was a bungalow where the actual boundary went halfway through their living room, probably. So they had a district council for the living room, and they had another district council for the kitchen or something. I don't know. So in terms of as a parish council, each individual can go on the Wakefield Council website and you can put forward your comments on it. It's still open for the consultation and everything. Are there any comments from the parish council as a whole? No? Shall we note that? And if anyone does have any comments, I'd probably suggest if we email Gemma and we can add it to the agenda for a future meeting if we want the full council to have a comment as a council on that. Does that seem fair way forward? Okay. Can I just get a vote in favour of that way forward? That's okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so item 15, to receive communication from Wakefield District Council regarding its biodiversity net gain draft supplementary planning document consultation, and to consider any comments that may be required by the Parish Council. Again, this is a review that's on the website. I've not reviewed this myself currently, so it's something I'll have to brush up on in terms of that. So I apologise for my comments on that.
Is it on the...
It's on the Wakefield Council website and it should be in our emails. We can definitely have those circulated, the links and so on, if that would help people.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I can't really pass it on. That's it.
Got it there. Strategy there.
Could we make could an email be sent out with the link to the biodiversity? I think that might.
Included on that. The link is included
On the 5th of June. So the link should be on the same.
It doesn't do much.
Sorry to bring you in the awareness, but does anybody know what a biodiversity net gain is?
I can't. I can't figure it out. So.
So it doesn't help that, but
I just think it's a little...
I can certainly send.
An improvement in diversity.
I can certainly ask the deputy leader now, from more of a district council point of view, what a biodiversity net gain is, because I don't know. So.
if I reckon what's wrong.
Biodiversity net gain is an approach to development. It makes sure that habitats of wildlife are left in a measurably better state than they were before the development. That's it.
So it's
It makes sure that we don't kill all the animals.
Stephen,
If
sorry.
I remember what I read correctly with Wakefield's 2036 plan, which was several years ago now, Wakefield thought that there would be, to the east of Wakefield, they would have mainly housing and warehousing, and the green spaces would be at Midgley and Netherton. Quite how that's going to work out, I don't know.
I mean, in the plan that they agreed
The 2036.
before the locals, I know that they're doing a new park at around Normanton out there. There's one close by to there. They're doing so.
Yeah. But the main green areas will be there, and then sort of the whole of this area will be open to housing. And then further east, warehousing. This was what it seemed to read in that statement.
Yeah, that'd be an awful lot of development here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that.
How that works.
Well, I know I won't be in favour of that, certainly not.
So,
Okay, so if again, if we can check the links that have been sent out, if anyone needs the links sent, and if you can contact the office, I'm sure we can get those links. They should be available on the website as well, on Wakefield Council. Again, if we, if any councillors want a comment from the full council to be made, if we just contact Gemma, we can get that put onto an agenda as necessary and can consider it going forward. Okay. Okay, so item 16, motions requested by councillors. So I'll be coming to you, Susie, to receive a two-part proposal from